What's going on, guys? This is Kobe with Sample Source back with another video. If you don't know who I am already, I'm a music producer that's full-time. I've been doing this for over 2 years, and I teach producers how to scale their businesses and go full-time and monetize their beats. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about everything that you would need to know in order to start selling beats, making an offer that sells easily to artists, and to be able to scale that up into potentially a full-time income. So I'm super excited about this video, and I'm going to break it down step by step. This is not going to be a short video. It's probably going to be anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes. So hopefully I can get through this in a concise manner, and I've broken this down into everything that I believe personally that you would need to start selling beats online and scaling up a high ticket business. Okay, so the sections I'm going to be covering in this are going to include the 4 items that are needed for a business, how to attract artists, making an offer that sells easily, equipping you with sales skills, as well as fulfilling customs. And the last one that I'm going to talk about is scaling to full-time. So let's get into the 4 items that are needed for a business. So the first one is leads. You need leads in your business. And what is a lead? A lead is finding artists to reach out to. The second thing that you need is an offer. And to quantify what an offer actually is, it could be a custom beat, an exclusive, it could be a license, it can be added services, it could be all of those bundled together and stacked on top of each other. So that would be your offer. So the next one that you're going to need in order to have a business, and these are all in order, is sales. So you actually need to be selling it. And what you do through BeatStars is have it on a sales page, so it does the selling for you, and you are simply covering the marketing. What I'm going to be talking about is pitching through Zoom or a phone call or email copywriting. That's going to be your sales piece. And the last and final thing that you need is a product. So your product is going to be your beats, of course. So very simple. So let's get into attracting artists. So basically, the previous slides were if you didn't already know what the components of a business were. So that's what they are. And so we're getting into attracting artists. This is going to include organic content, manual outreach, or paid advertisement. Before I do that, I want to talk about what is a lead magnet. So if you don't know already, a lead magnet is something that you give away for free in order to get potential clients into your business or funnel. So this can be free beats, or it can be something that's helpful like a PDF. It can be something that I do is like a streaming strategy, a business plan. It can be a studio terminology checklist. Like that's something that an artist might be like, oh, that's really interesting. I actually need something like that. I don't know what to say in a studio. So this is going to tell me the terminology, like punching in. What does that mean? And what is how is that going to help me? So things like that. That's what a lead magnet is. So let's get back to attracting artists. So the first component was organic content. So to do this can be posting a piece of content. So on any kind of medium, social media. So it could be a beat visualizer. It could be you breaking down the beat personally, but just something that is a piece of content that you can put out. Then you're going to offer your lead magnet in the description and in the comments. So I know you can't pin the comment, but people will still see that comment if you put it in Instagram or something like that. And you can say something like free beats in bio. That's what I do, and it gets a few leads in every month. So the alternative is just making content that is giving away the free beats directly, or free lead magnet. So you can make a piece of content that simply says, hey, I'm doing a giveaway on beats. You don't need to do anything to enter. The link is in my bio, and you can download those completely for free, and that will be getting leads into your business. You can make that offer several times a month if you want to. So that is the organic way. And basically you would put something like a Linktree link in your bio that would direct traffic to your lead magnet. That would be a landing page, right? Okay, so let's get into the manual outreach way. So to find artists, you're going to have to go to like hashtags, promo pages on Instagram, and I put etc. because there are several other ways that I use to find artists, but those are the 2 big ones. So hashtags, people will say the hashtags are dead, but you can find thousands and thousands of artists that you can reach out to through hashtags, and I still do that. And the other way to do it is promo pages. So that can be like Trappers or Rappers International or something like that. It can be Trap Central. It could be some kind of page that's a hub for artists to promote their music, and it highlights certain artists. So you can go and find one of those simply by doing a search and going through until you find and compile a list of these. So that is super important to do. And once you've done that, you can follow those pages and turn on post notifications. And whenever there's a new artist that's promoting their work, you already know that they're paying for that promotion service. And that way you know that they're a good artist that you can reach out to. Okay, so the second thing you need to do is you need to listen to their music. So you can go to the link in their bio, or maybe they posted snippets on Reels on their page if it's on Instagram. So go and listen to their music. So after you do that, compliment them on a song that you actually genuinely like. So after you've done that step, the fourth step is to tell them what you do and ask if they're releasing music anytime soon. You want to identify that because that's going to be your target market. If they're not planning on releasing music anytime soon, then it's going to be very difficult to sell something to someone who doesn't need that or want what you have to offer. All right, so the next thing you need to do is to pitch your offer. So this is going to be, if you're doing a customs or exclusives or something else that's high ticket, or maybe it's a bundle service where you're giving away a beat pack plus mixing and mastering service plus something else. And that is your high ticket offer. You want to offer that to them. Maybe not give them your pricing, but offer the promotion, the service. So after you've done that, you want to schedule a discovery call. This is to discover what the artist needs. It's a free call that they can book, and you can use an app called Calendly, and that is completely free. You set that up. You set up your booking calendar, and then you'll send them that link so that they can book a call with you. All right, next you're going to sell them your offer, and obviously that's going to be closer to the end of this slide presentation, where I'm going to show you how to sell that offer exactly and what you need to say and do and all of the framework surrounding that. Okay, so let's jump into attracting artists using paid advertisement. This is the third way that you can attract artists to your lead magnet. So what you need to do is you need to go to Meta, which used to be Facebook, and set up a business manager account. And if you have a professional account on Instagram already, then you would already have had to have set up a business manager account. So you'll need to do that. And once you have accomplished that, the next thing you need to do is create a Meta business page. So if you haven't done that, you'll need to do that as well. So once you've done both of those, you'll link your Meta Ads Manager to that. And there's a lot of steps in between where you'll need to, warm up your ads and do so many things like fill in business info and get your account verified if that needs to be. I know mine's not, but there's so many other steps that you can do. Turn on two-factor authorization. But those are the three basic ones that will get you up and running. Okay, so after that's done, you'll create your ad for the lead magnet direct to offer. So I put talking head and visualizer here. So what do I mean by that? Basically, my advertisement is a talking head advertisement, which means it's just like me and you right now are communicating. I'm literally talking to my phone or my camera, and I say, hey, I have some free beats for you, right? So that is the talking head style, or you can do a visualizer style where it's it's completely impersonal, but it has text that is your call to action, right? So that's the other way to do it. A third way that you can do it as well is to promote some free beats, but maybe you're doing beat breakdowns. Maybe you filmed yourself doing the breakdowns where you're hitting the pads on your drum pads on your MIDI keyboard or something like that, and that way you're promoting your free beats that way. You tell them to swipe up to go and get those for free. So you can do it that way. The next step after you have made your advertisement, you need to make a landing page to collect the emails. So you can do this in MailChimp for free. So you go and create a landing page, which is basically a page that they land on. I know that's seems obvious, but not everybody knows what a landing page is, but that's the term for it. So after you've made your landing page to collect the emails where they put in their first name, they put in their email address, and that way you've collected that and you have them in your list, then it will move them to your next page, which is a VSL offer, which is another landing page you can make in MailChimp. And what a VSL is simply a video sales letter, and that is your offer video. It's what you're going to put on the thank you page where you say, thanks for downloading the beats. The beats are going to be in your inbox in a few minutes, or maybe you just have a link there for them to download the beats, and then below that you have your offer video that they can listen to your offer, which could be anything. So we're going to get more into offers soon. But after you've done that, you want to create a button on that landing page below the VSL where it links to the free discovery call through Calendly. So once you've done that, you have you'll start getting book calls, when people come in from the paid advertisement. And obviously this doesn't include pricing, budgeting for your Facebook ad and everything like that, but those are very more nuanced things that you can decide on. Okay, so let's talk about making an offer that sells easily. So we don't want to make an offer that we want to sell that nobody wants to buy. We want to make an offer that has a market for it. So we want to make an offer so good people feel stupid saying no. And I'm stealing this line from Alex Hormozy. He's an entrepreneur that I listen to a lot, and I've learned a lot, and he's helped me to make a lot of sales. So what we need to work on is, what do people actually pay for? So let's go and dissect this a little bit. So they pay for quality, obviously. They also pay for quantity. So it's what you get for what you pay for in that price value structure. The third one is the speed of fulfillment. So if you're fulfilling a custom beat, how quickly can you get that done and get that to your client and get them satisfied with the beat? So that would be speed of fulfillment. So you can look at a company like Amazon, where they offer pretty decent quality, and they have as much quantity as you could possibly get for the lowest price possible. So they satisfy that second need, and their speed of fulfillment is like 2 days or less, So that is that's a great business, and it's pretty much an unbeatable model. So I'm going to teach you how to make a business that satisfies these three requirements for what people would pay for. So you need to think about what an artist needs, and you need to reverse engineer your offer from that. So they need beats. What's something else that artists needs? They need artwork. They need a music video. They need marketing promotion. They need mixing, mastering, recording, to get their song actually to where people can listen to it. And they also might want a personal experience with the producer or engineer, whoever that is. They also might want a photo shoot. There's so many things an artist will want, and I'm not saying that you need to offer that, but those are some ideas to get your mind going of things that you could possibly offer. Maybe it's not your skill set, but those are things that you could outsource to someone on Fiverr or soundbetter.com or somewhere else where you can find somebody that does those services, and you could offer it to the artist and bundle it into your offer so that they can have a one-stop shop. Okay, so what should your offer be? Should you offer a ton of different services and products? Or should you offer one really good product, or maybe a specific offer that solves a specific problem? So none of these questions are have an agenda behind them. Any one of those could be right. You could offer a ton of different services and products for low price, or you could offer one really good product for super high price, or a specific offer that solves a specific problem. Maybe it does two things at a medium range price. So there could be so many different solutions to this problem. So what do artists struggle with? We need to answer this question in order to structure our offer. So I have several examples here. Artist 1 says, I want exclusives, but I don't have much of a budget. So maybe they have $250, but they want an exclusive rights to a beat. Maybe you can go and solve that need. Maybe you don't want to sell for a low price. So maybe there's another artist and they can't find what they want, but they'll pay whatever amount of money they need to pay to get what they need. So that is a very desirable market, because you can set your price very high and the artist will still be willing to pay that price. Artist 3, I want my own personal producer that only does blank types of beats. So you might run into this situation where they're looking specifically for a kind of beat, and they can't find it anywhere else, and so they're looking for a producer to do that custom. Okay, so artist 4, I need a better mix and master engineer and beats that are only mine to use. So you can go and satisfy that need by making a bundle offer. Maybe you're outsourcing the mixing and mastering, or you have a friend or a buddy that can do mixing and mastering at a good clip, or at a high quality rate, and you can handle the beat side. So that is another scenario. The 5th one is I need artwork, promo, video shoot, mix and master, and exclusive beats. So they might need a wide array of different services, and in that case, if you have an offer that covers all those bases, maybe they don't need it to be the highest quality for each one. They just need all of it done, and they want to do it in one spot. Okay, so the 6 artists, I need a beat remade. I can't contact the producer that made it. This is a very popular scenario where they can't get in contact with the producer, or the producer doesn't want to do revisions, so they reach out to somebody that can do that for them. Okay, the 7th artist says, I have so many songs written, I just need production done. So you may not need a fancy offer that offers, 10 different services. Maybe all you need to do is offer a custom beat, and you need to be able to make a custom beat simply from a voice reference or voice memo. Okay, so what else do artists struggle with? You need to cater specifically to your customer avatar and attract those that need that specific problem solved. So that's the important takeaway from this. You need to mention it in your ad, your offer video, your email copywriting, your content, and your phone call. So you need to plaster that everywhere because you're appealing to a certain audience, and it's not going to be a broad array of people. You're trying to appeal to a specific person so that they feel like you're speaking to them directly, and that's what's going to cause them to take action. So don't try to make your customers understand what you're giving. Simply try to understand what your customer already wants and needs from you. All right, so equipping you with sales skills. Now that we have covered the lead management as well as making your instruction and your offer, we need to equip you with sales skills, because not every producer knows how to sell, especially over the phone. So I want to show you an amazing framework. So there are 4 things you need in high ticket sales. The first one is you need to sell over the phone. And the reason being for that is if you just have a sales page that says buy a customer exclusive beat from me for $500, $750, $1,000 or more, they're not going to go through with the transaction from a sales page because it's simply too much money and they have too many trust barriers to overcome. If it's only $30, they can part with that money without feeling too badly about it, even if they never receive their beat. But if it's $300, that's going to be very difficult to convince somebody to do. It's also easier to communicate the value over the phone. So just like I'm talking to you right now, it would be much harder if this was in written format, and it would be even harder if I tried to do it, simply through like one page of writing to try to communicate this much value, right? Okay, so you need to also understand the artist's problems better than they do. I heard Chris with Wave Formation was talking about this. I actually did a recent interview with him. I probably won't remember to post it on this video, but you can go back through, and it's one of the recent videos. And he scaled businesses as far as like custom production up to like $250,000 a year. So definitely somebody to pay attention to, especially in this space. So understand the artist's problems better than they do. The third one, use a question-based script because you're trying to draw out a certain result for the artist, and you also want to get as much information as possible so that you can use that later on to close the sale and to better understand their problems and concerns. The fourth one is to have conviction that your product helps them. So if you don't believe that you have a good product, if you don't believe that it actually helps the artist, it doesn't apply to them, then you're not going to be able to sell it because they can sense whether or not you actually believe that it's a solution for them. All right, so equipping you with sales skills. Next step, we already talked about the artist problem, so this section will focus on the script, framework, and closing sales specifically. So I'm super excited to get into this. I also learned this from Alex Hormozy. I use a framework that is called the closer framework. So this is an acronym. Let's break it down real quick. So C in closer stands for clarify why they are there. So you can say something like, what made you reach out today? You want to clarify why they're there. If they're simply booking calls just because they can, and they're not even interested in getting custom production or getting an exclusive beat or getting your offer, then that's not your target audience, and it's something that's going to make you cut that call short. But otherwise, they're going to let you know some vital information to why they reached out to you. The second thing is the L in closer, which is to label them with a problem. So if you are talking to them and they say they're looking for X type of beat, you can say, oh, a lot of artists need that. Is that what you're looking for? So you need to identify a need and a pain point where they're trying to get that problem solved. Okay, so the next one is to overview their past pain. So maybe they've let you know about a positive experience or not. So if you ask the question, have you worked one-on-one with the producer before? and they say yes, but he ghosted me or he moved or something like that, then that's a possibly negative experience that they had that you can dive a little bit more into and dig in and see where exactly that pain is. So you can say, from what I'm hearing, you're struggling with a blank problem. So that's another way that you can follow up that question with. Okay, so the fourth one is S in closer, which means to sell them the vacation. So basically, once you've led them away from pain, you can lead them into pleasure, which is going to be the desirable result that they want from the phone call, which is for you to solve their problem. So whatever problem that is, you can now offer that to them if you have that solution. So you can say, well, since you're struggling with this, I actually offer XYZ, and I believe strongly that this is going to solve your problem. We should move forward with that. So that's what you can do there. E stands for explain away their concerns. So if they're one of their main concerns is pricing. So if they say that's too much money, I can't do that up front, you can say, actually, I offer a payment plan. And they can say, well, it's it's too much money for me to let go. I want to have something in my hands that I can listen to beforehand. You can say, no problem. I actually offer a money back guarantee. So you can do the deposit up front, and I'll give you your money back if you don't like the beat that I come with. So and nobody's going to take you up on this offer unless you're just making really crappy beats. But that's something that you can offer to give them more buyer guarantees. So the R stands for reinforcing their decision. So once they've made a decision to go through and purchase your beats, you want to reinforce that and make sure that it's something that they feel good about and that they're going to continue to follow through with. So you can say, after they say, okay, let's go through with it, you can say, great, I'll send you a license agreement template over so you can see what we talked about over the phone. It's going to include all the numbers. I'm going to include a summarized transcript of our conversation so that you have it in writing. You can give that all to them. You can say, and since you're going with me, I really appreciate you, and I want to send you out some free merch. I'll send you a free hoodie out. So you can do things like that, and while it's very little cost to you or very little time dedicated to that, you're still offering value to them, and they're going to feel very good about their decision because you actually care about them and you've already paved a way for them to come into that's going to be a positive experience. So that's the closer framework, and hopefully I'll remember to post that in the description or in the pinned comment. If I don't, then make sure you guys let me know. So let's solve the ghost problem. So sometimes, if you don't know, artists will agree to pay for your services and then ghost you before the session. So they might do this for two reasons. So the reason number one is that they weren't interested in the first place, but they didn't want to come off as rude, or they didn't want to deal with the conflict then. So they decided to just agree to pay you and then ghost you later and block your number or whatever they want to do with that. The reason two is that their emotional state changed and they no longer want your offer. So a lot of times we wait way too long to follow up with somebody that's super interested. So if they say, I want to buy your services right now, you need to have a way to offer that to them. You don't want to wait 30 days and then follow up with them and say, yeah, I didn't want to bother you, but now do you want to go through with it? They can say, nah, I'm not interested anymore. Actually, I decided to go with someone else, or I'm just simply not interested in anymore, period. So emotional states change. So while they're in the emotional state of buying, you need to make sure that you have an offer for them. So here's the solution to that. You need to collect payment while you're still on the call. This is also something that Chris with Wave Formation told me to do, and I applied that, and I made $3,000 in one day. So how do you do this? Wouldn't the artist object to that? And that's a good question. They might reject initially, but if they do, then just offer a payment plan. So if they can't do everything up front at once, I usually do half up front. But sometimes if I'm offering $1,000 offer, then that's still too much for them to give $500 up front, especially on the phone. It's just a huge dedication. So what I do instead is I say, I know it's a lot of money. So if money's an issue, would it help if I offered a payment plan? And you might say, okay, so how do you actually collect payment while you're on the phone? That seems kind of interesting. Like I've never heard anyone talk about this, right? So here's how I did it multiple times. Step one, you go to stripe.com and log in. And if you already sell on BeatStars and you have this set up, then you already have an account with Stripe. or Airbit or any of the other ones that integrate with Stripe. So after you've done that or created an account, go to products, and it's a products tab. So you click products and then you click add a product. And basically this is going to be your custom payment plan. So you can label it that, you can set it as recurring payments, and then you can set the price to be paid and then set it to monthly. So once you've done that, it's going to, and once they agree, say, okay, cool, I'll send you the link right now and you can let me know when the payment comes through. So you want to assume that they're going to pay you over the phone, first off. And you want to be very confident about saying, I'm going to send you the link right now. So make sure that they are understanding that they're going to pay over the phone today. You're not going to ask them if that's all right. You're just going to ask them if they want to move forward. So once you have the payment plan link accessible, so pin it in your notes on your phone, or have it emailed to you and flag it so that you can go and copy that. Then send that to them. And then talk them through the process and prompt them to let you know if it worked okay and to let them know when they have submitted. So you say, let me know when that comes through. If it doesn't work okay, just, keep me updated, and I'll just keep talking until you finish with that process. So once they've submitted and they let you know, then you've collected payment over the phone. It's that simple. So the fifth step is to let them know that it will bill them every day, 30 days until the final payment. Then it will shut off the card. So there is a little caveat to this, is that it actually doesn't shut off their card. So you will need to personally go in and shut it off so that you don't overcharge them or overbill them. So you need to go and shut off the card manually. So you could set a reminder, in your phone that on such and such date you'll need to go and turn their card off. Okay, so fulfilling custom beats, problems that you're going to run into. There's too many revisions. So a lot of artists are just going to ask for tons of revisions. The second one is that the artist doesn't know the terminology. So they might say, well, I was listening to it and I don't know what the sound is, but I need it taken out. And it's very difficult for you to make that revision because you are basically just doing a guessing game. The third one is that the structuring takes a long time, so you might have to send it back and forth, and they might say they want to drop it such and such time, or when they say such and such word in the song, they want a certain result to happen. So that's difficult. And the last one, I believe, is that you lack direction from the artist. So sometimes they don't know exactly what they want, and you can't ask them questions on demand. Okay, so there's another one. So artists lack motivation to write to it. So sometimes artists write better when they're able to do it on the fly. So how do I fix all of these problems? So Zoom sessions are the best way that I found. So what you can do, or what the benefits are of doing a Zoom session, a virtual session for the custom beat, is that artists can vibe and write off the top. So they can just listen and write to your beat while you're making it. And that way it speeds up the process of songwriting for them. It gets them closer to the desired result. So the second one is that you can cover most revisions in a single session. So what I find is that if I need any changes at all, it's very minor. And sometimes we need to set up a second Zoom session, but for the most part, we get everything we need to get done in one session. Also, you can label beat sections and structure it live with the artist's help. So this really expedites the process. And the artist can point out, I want you to label this the intro, this is the hook, this is the second verse, this is where the bridge comes in, here's the outro. You can do all of that, and it takes very little time. Okay, the next one is that artists can point out what you need to change without knowing terminology. So they can literally point at the screen, or not point at the screen, but they can you can highlight with your cursor, is it this one? Is it that one? Do you want this sound removed? Do you want this put in? And that way the artist can communicate live with you, and you can get so much more done. So there are a couple of drawbacks I want to point out. So it can be stressful creating live. It can feel like a performance. So there's some stress involved with that. So I'm not going to lie about that. So, you just have to stay on top of, getting enough rest, staying hydrated, all of that good stuff. It's not that difficult, but that's something to point out. The second one is it can be awkward having to talk to an artist, especially if you're introverted like myself. You have to get a few under your belt before you get really good at this. So, there's a learning curve involved with dealing with people, especially, when you're fulfilling a service. Okay, so scaling to full time. The elements that you're going to need are volume, sales mastery, doing one thing and having a high customer LTV, which simply means lifetime value of your customer. Okay, so let's talk about volume. So this just simply means you need to message more people. Whatever you're doing right now, you probably need to double or triple it. So a lot of people are like, well, I messaged like 3 artists today. It's like, yeah, you need to do like 30, or more artists every single day, or you need to do it for a longer period of time. So sometimes they'll do it for a week and they expect some results to happen. They don't get it. And so I say, do it for a month. And then you might message your artist for a month and you're like, well, I haven't gotten any sales yet. And the reason is because you just simply haven't done it long enough. A lot of times artists come back 5 months later and end up buying something from you. So be open to that. You also could spend more money on ads to increase your volume. So that way it brings in more, you're paying Meta or you're paying Google to bring in more people for you to talk to. So the next one is you could post more content more often. So you could post more times a day, or you could post every single day, or you could post a few times a week. Whatever it is more than you're doing right now. If you have a content strategy, then stick with that and increase the volume. Sales mastery, let's talk a little bit more about this. So you need to learn to develop rapport naturally. So this isn't simply talking about personal things in their lives, but you need to figure out some common ground where you can relate to them so that they feel more comfortable talking to you. Listen 90% of the time. And I also added just shut up, which basically means just be quiet and listen to them. And because artists love to talk about themselves, people in general, and you need to learn to not push your agenda, but to let them talk about what they want to talk about for a long period of time before you actually interject. So I followed that up with don't seek to be understood, seek to understand. And I've already said this before, and since I've repeated it so many times, I feel like that's something that I really wanted to draw attention to, is that if you only are seeking to be understood, then they're going to feel like you're not understanding what they want. So that's what the artist wants the most. Also, asking excellent questions. So this is something that takes a little bit more time and in this industry to understand the problems that artists are going through, and to ask really good questions so that you're getting the answers you need in order to close the sale. So this one might be the most important one. Strongly believe what you're selling is the answer to their problems. And if you're selling hot garbage, then you need to go back to the drawing board and improve your product. The product always comes first. So if you have a bad product, that's the first thing you need to fix if you're not getting sales. So after you fix that, then you need to believe that what you're selling is the answer to their problem. So this could be your offer. It's not just your beats. It could be you're outsourcing to mixing and mastering. That's what I do. So that's simply my offer is free mixing and mastering and a custom beat. And I strongly believe that helps every artist that I come in contact with. So that's why I sell it so strongly, and why they believe that it's the answer to their problems, because I believe it is, and it really has helped a lot of artists. So nextly, I follow that up with mastering tone. So whenever you feel conviction, that's going to correct your tone. And I added that note. Alex Hormozy actually said this in one of his talks, and so I wanted to include that because he is just a sales genius, and really, like I said before, has helped me to get a lot of sales. And what you want to do is, if it's really important, you want to lower your voice and you want to talk more monotone. And that is going to improve, that's going to help you to master tone. So, and if you're more like trying to learn more things about them, you might want to have a brighter voice, and you want to talk a little bit quicker, and so you want to learn when you're being inquisitive versus when you're trying to speak with conviction versus when you're just imploring, just to ask more questions. So that is something that you need to learn, and it's something that I'm still learning at this time, but mastering tone is going to help you to sell so many more beats, because if you, like I said before, if you don't believe in your product, if you don't believe that what you're selling is useful, then your tone is going to be all over the place, and they're not going to believe you. So that's important. All right, so let's move on to the next thing. Do one thing. What do I mean by this? So think of it this way. You have 3 plants to water, but you only have enough water to keep 1 plant alive. So instead of watering one plant, you decide to divide the water evenly among the 3 plants anyways. As a result of that, all of the plants wither and die because you didn't commit to the growth of one of them. So the plants represent your focus, your mindset. So if you divide your focus, your business will not grow as quickly as you want. And focusing on one thing will allow you to have a much better business than 90% of producers. So like right off the top, if you only do one thing and you just master that, you're going to be better than 90 out of 10 producers simply because you have a focus. So stop trying to be all over the place doing ads, email marketing, every social media platform, leasing beats, doing customs, doing NFTs, and trying to do NFT artwork to sell your beats, and doing placements at the same time, etc. You need to choose one thing and do that better than everyone else. So pick one thing, excel at it, try everything when you're first starting out, of course, but narrow it down to the one thing that you're really good at that you feel like offers the most value to artists. Okay, so let's cover high customer LTV. So this is being their personal producer is going to equal higher lifetime value, or LTV. That's what LTV stands for. So how do you accomplish this? One, you want to give them what they ask for, which is an amazing beat. You're extra personal, all of these other things. So you want to give them exactly what they're asked for and what they're looking for. After that, you need to over deliver. So you need to, offer them an agreement, offer them extra services on top for free that you can offer. Maybe you did free mixing and mastering on the song. You're like, hey, I'll throw in artwork for free as well. I think that that's something that you can need. Do you need that? So you can engage with their posts on social media. That is an offer of value. You can also check in with them. Just check in. Say like, how's the music going? How's life going? You're not necessarily trying to sell anything else to them. You're trying to keep the relationship going. The third thing is to buy them a gift. This is something that I've done with a lot of my clients that keep coming back for beats. So I give them merchandise. I had a hoodie, and I would give them a hoodie every time they bought a custom beat for me, or the first time that somebody would buy a custom beat for me. I would say, hey, can I send you out a hoodie? What's your address and what's your size? And then I would just send it out to them and pay for that. And as a result, they return that with some reciprocity, which in terms of bringing me more business. So you can pay for their single artwork. You can do so many different things with money to give them a gift. And that way they're going to feel like you actually care about them as artists. Okay, so I have clients that come back every 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, and they get customs and exclusives from me, right? If they spend $500 to $1,000 every 3 months, and I develop 10 relationships like that, then that comes to an average of $30,000 a year from 10 people. And you're not trying to, so this means that you're not trying to acquire more sales. You're not just trying to sell to more people. You're trying to acquire more customers. So that is the difference, and that's why you need to be more people focused instead of product focused. So you can focus on your product all day, but if you don't care about the people you're serving, then they're only going to buy from you once at the most. Okay, so let's do some quick math to get you to 5K a month. So your goal is $5,000 a month. And I'm almost at the end of this presentation, by the way. I know it's a long one, but I believe that this is really going to help you out. So your goal is $5,000 a month, and you're selling your beats for $1,000 each. And if you have a problem with that, you can adjust this math and increase your volume and decrease your price. So you need 5 clients in order to sell $5,000 a month. You send 50 DMs a day for a month on Instagram, let's say, or TikTok, or whatever platform you choose to send direct messages on. That's 50 times 30 days in a month. So that's 1,500 DMs a month. Let's say half of those end up responding to you. So that's 750 responses. Out of those responses, you book 10% to a phone call. So you get 10% of them to get onto a discovery call with you. So that ends up being 75 phone calls a month. Let's say you close 7% of your calls. That's not, an insane amount. You might close anywhere from 5 to 10%, right? So that ends up coming to 5.25 sales. So I round it down to 5. And that it means that 5 sales times $1,000 in beats equals $5,000 a month. So that math reinforces how much easier it is to do this for a living than it is to sell leases, because you're able to reach out to a bunch of people. But even though not a lot of them are going to buy, you don't have to worry about margins. You don't have to worry about spending too much money on advertising because your product is so expensive, right? So to recap this, we talked about 1, the 4 items you need for a business, We also talked about how you can attract artists to your lead magnet so you can get them into your funnel. We also talked about making an offer that sells easily, basically making an offer in mind of what the artist actually needs and making it so good that they just feel stupid to say no to that, to what you're offering. I also talked about equipping you with sales skills. So I gave you the closer framework, and I'm going to try to put that in the description or the pinned comment for you so that you can go back to that, you can copy it, and you can abide by it. We talked about fulfilling customs, so why I go through Zoom and the drawbacks and the benefits to that. So we also talked about scaling to full-time right now. I hope this has been helpful to you. I know I put a lot of time into this presentation, so hopefully it's helped at least one producer out there to realize that wherever they're at in their business, if they're not at $5K a month already, they can scale up, not easily, but very simply by following the frameworks presented in this video. So contact me at my email or my IG. It's below right there if you want help structuring your high ticket offer. So you've seen all this information. It might be overwhelming to you, or maybe you just need like more detail. You need me to specifically be right there by your side and trying to help you structure a high ticket offer that is going to help your business to grow. Also, maybe you want help setting up paid ads. So if you need help setting up meta ads through the Meta Ads Manager, and you need help with, how much should I budget, and all of those different things, it's very difficult to set up. So I wanted to offer that to you if you ever want to go through Zoom and do that. We can talk about either of these things. So maybe you need help to outline how you could specifically scale your business. So maybe you're at a certain point and you're like, well, I don't know what to sell. I don't know how to sell it. I don't know how to get from here to here, and I want to scale my business up. So I would love to talk to you about that as well. So if you need help with any of those three things or all of them, then you can hit me up at my IG, which is at KobeBeats_official, or my email, Kobe@samplesourcehub.com. So hopefully this video has been helpful to you once again. And if you need more help with that, I would love to do a consultation. We can split it into 2 parts if necessary, and we can talk about scaling your business and equipping you with the tools you need in order to reach your goal. So hope you've enjoyed this as much as I have been making this presentation and presenting it to you guys. So if you need anything else, then make sure you leave a comment below, and would love to get back to you as soon as possible. I'll see you in the next one.